Einhell, we present you the 720 watt or 4.5 inch mini grinder. 4.5 or 115 mil. Let's have a look at what we got. This tool is universal, so you can use it for cutting and for grinding. And if you've got twist knot brushes, you can put twist knot brushes on it to actually take welds down as well. So let's start from the front of the machine, shall we? So the guard at the front is very easily changeable to the angle you require, and then you just literally lock down and it's done. So this machine comes with a side handle. Now the side handle can be put on the right hand side, it can be put on the top, or it can be put on the left hand side, depending on what application you're using the tool for. But just for now, I'm just going to put it on the right hand side because I'm right handed. So literally we just screw it on. It's got a rubber overmould, so obviously if your hand's a little bit slippery, it'll grip. So taking the front of the machine, if we want to change the blade, the first thing we make sure is that the machine is turned off and it's unplugged. So we've got there a spindle lock. Now what a spindle lock does is it stops the flange from turning. Now as you can see on the bottom here, you've got 4 holes. Those 4 holes are for a pin spanner. Now the worst thing with an angle grinder is what you do is you get a pin spanner, you put it down somewhere and you can't find the pin spanner. I know I've come up with a fantastic idea that you actually keep the pin spanner within the handle. So if we want to change it, we just literally click on the bottom there, spindle locks on and just rotate and take the flange off. Now let's have a quick look at the flange, because some people make the mistake that they put the flange on with this section which is risen up against the blade. Now the problem with that is the blade won't tighten down properly, so it needs to be the flat surface that goes up against the blade. For purposes of demonstration here, I'm just going to use the faithful 4.5 inch mini grinder blade. This is also on the campaign as well, so have a look, it's a great deal. So we put the blade on. It has a rotational arrows on this blade, yeah, so you've got to make sure that the rotation is in the same spin rotation as the machine. So the arrow is also on the back. So when this machine runs up, it's going to be going that way. So we need to make sure that the arrow on the back there is also going that way. So literally, we put it over the flange. Now that's a 22 mil flange. That's the standard size for a 4.5 inch. The thread size on this is M14. So it's M14 thread. So all we do is we take that and literally we just screw that on like so. We engage our spindle lock I spoke about earlier. Spindle lock on, it's locked, pin spanner, and we just nip it up like so. Okay, that's the blade changed. How easy is that? And the spanner goes back in the handle. So let's just have a quick look at the top of the machine, yeah? So we've got a rubber overmould over the back of it, which obviously our hand's a little bit sweaty. What we don't want to do is be dropping this. Now, this comes with a thing called a no volt release switch. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to put my safety specs on, which you should always use with any power tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the machine up to demonstrate what a no volt release switch is. So, okay, so the machine is up and going, you can hear it. Now all of a sudden we have a power failure. So now the machine is off. I go over, check out what's wrong with the power. Now, if I go over and I turn the power on now, what would happen without a no volt release switch is potentially an accident ready to happen. Because I could put it down like this and all of a sudden what's going to happen is the blade's going to bite the ground and it's going to go running around all over the show. Now, obviously that could cut your leg, it could cause damage to other products that you've got in the room as well. So a no volt release switch, if we turn the power back on now, the machine does not start. The machine won't start until we turn the power off and re-engage the power. And then we're up and running again. So that's a real good safety feature built into this grinder. So we got the Einhell 4.5 inch 720 watt mini grinder.